record again. So,
Okay.
all right, guys, just to recap, we have Jaros, who's a relationship coach, and he's going to be sharing his experience with us. What he does is he helps shy men have the confidence and security in themselves to really approach women and possibly meet their life mate. So I'm very interested to hear from Jaros. So please welcome Jaros Gilbert.
How you doing? I'm
Hi.
Jaros Gilbert. Like you said, I do help shy guys get better with their approaching and get better on their online dating skills and just their skills with their attraction. Because what many guys do not understand is that attraction is actually a skill. You'll see a lot in media. You'll have the typical nerd or whatever that he hasn't actually able to attract anybody, and then you have the big jock that is getting all the girlfriends and whatnot. Well, in actuality, that's not true. There is a skill that is involved, and it is a learned skill. Many guys don't know that they can actually learn the skill. They try online dating, which has become very, very, very prevalent now. But they actually don't have very much luck on online dating. Well, with online dating, you also want to have the best photos that you have available. You want to have the best profile. You want to optimize everything that you can so that as somebody is scrolling through, they are able to get the best idea of what you are, which you don't have a lot of time when you're online. Now, the thing is, though, what guys need to understand is that for men, it is a volume thing. They want a lot of volume so that they can meet the right potential person for them. So with that, you want to try online dating, and you also want to try in-person dating. In-person dating seems to be the thing that gives guys a lot of problems because I know for myself, I was actually married for 10 years, got divorced. And then when I came out of that divorce, things had changed a lot. Online dating was a huge thing. It was not back then. It is very, very huge now. I tried that. I had very little success with that. And then I told myself, oh, you know what? Well, I'll just go out to a bar and talk to women there. And I remember the first night I tried this, I walked into a bar, I saw beautiful women around me, and I walked into the bar. I walked all the way around the bar and then proceeded to walk out without talking to anyone. I was just utterly terrified, which is what a lot of men do feel when they do try the process of approaching, because it is hard. It is very hard, and it's not taught anywhere. But if they practice the skill and they know some key things that they can just tweak, it doesn't take a lot, just a few things that you can actually tweak. You'll find your success will skyrocket, and you'll be able to find that person who is the right fit for you.
Okay. So I know there's a lot of fear too. I don't know that if I was looking for a life mate or a partner that I personally would go to a bar, because I'm looking for something different for that in my life, but I've been married a very long time, so I wouldn't be there. I wouldn't be there anyway. So, I mean, men come to you because they're shy and they lose their confidence. What got you interested in this? Because I know that this is something you've been really studying for a long time. So can you share that with me?
So what got me really interested was the fact that I was in a relationship that really wasn't a good fit. It's not that she was a bad woman at all. She's a very good woman. She's a very good mother to my children, but we were just not right for each other. And had I known what I know now, I would have been able to better filter for a better fit for me, which would have led to a stronger relationship. I did not know anything about dating at all before I got married. I was just trying to find someone, but not knowing exactly what I wanted. So a lot of the things that guys have to learn is that, hey, what is it that I actually want out of a relationship? What do I want for my future? And then you have to find someone that actually fits both of those aspects. What things can I tolerate within a relationship? Some people don't know that. And people have to understand that sometimes you do have to date, a lot of people to actually find out what it is that you actually like. Like, you have to try different things. You have to seek out different people to understand that. And some people lack the confidence. They will essentially get rejected, and that will be the end of their, trials. They will stop going out and trying to introduce them, trying to put themselves in front of people.
Well, I like what you said about they don't really know what they want, because I think a lot of people don't spend that time. I mean, a commitment, a life commitment, for me, marriage is still a life commitment,
Right,
so,
it is.
and I'm someone who was married before. So but it wasn't, like you said, a good fit.
Right.
and he's a great person, just not for me. And it was things that I just wouldn't tolerate in my relationship and in my life. So I like that you said that, they have to really be out there and see what they want and know what they want so that they have a better insight into really what they're looking for,
Right.
and it's better to like be a little hesitant, and not that you're shy, I mean, but be hesitant with people that you necessarily hook up with, correct?
That is true. That is true. You do want to be hesitant. You do want to actually see, before you hook up, because when you do hook up with somebody that, there are a lot of um, hormones that go through your body that will bond you to that person, for both the men and the women. Women more so than men, but men also do see that bonding too, because that does bring two people closer together.
Okay.
What?
So you were saying that there are certain skills, okay? So I mean, men and women have been getting together for a long time, probably not the right way. So can you give me an example of some of those skills?
Right. So one thing is that guys don't understand is that their vocal tonality can actually convey different meanings to women, to people of the opposite sex, or to people in general. Right now, you can hear me. I'm speaking in a downward vocal tonality because I am actually sure as what I'm certain that what I'm saying is true. I do believe what I'm saying, and people will sometimes speak in an upward vocal tonality. Where, say, if I were to approach one at a bar, like, "Hey, can I have your number?" Like that right there, that doesn't sound as good as, "Hey, how are you doing? May I have your number?" Like that right there, something as simple as that can actually change the outcome of that interaction. Simple as your vocal tonality. To be aware of that. The presence that you bring into the interaction itself. If I come in with high levels of it, like, "Hey, hi, I'm Jaros. It's very nice to meet you. I saw you across the bar. I just want to get to know you." That right there is so much different than, "Hey, I'm Jaros. I saw you across the bar, and I just wanted to get to know you." Like that nervousness right there. There is called the law of state transference. So if I am nervous, like, people will actually feel that around you. You've probably noticed it yourself. You may have a friend who seems to always suck the fun out of the room, or a person who is just in a bad mood, and you yourself will start to feel in a bad mood just right along with him. Your body like synchronizes with that feeling. Well,
Not me,
as
I'm
a
getting out of that room.
oh,
I don't
exactly,
need
but you
no bad vibes, only good allowed in this room.
right, but you can feel those vibes though. They do make a
Yes.
difference in the way you're feeling. And some guys don't understand that. They'll go up to an approach and they're very nervous, they're very scared, they're very shy. And while it will take time for them to get beyond that, they have to understand that, hey, this will affect the person that you're trying to get the number from, the person that you're trying to date. That's also going to affect them. So if you do approach it as in a mindset that I do teach guys, is that you have to assume that she already likes you. Because if I believe that the person I'm talking to already likes me, that is going to allow me to be myself. That is going to, I'm not going to be nervous. I'm not going to fear potentially getting rejected, which is what a lot of men do fear. That is why they don't do the approach in the first place. They're so worried about the rejection, and they think the worst possible outcome, like the lady's going to laugh at them, everybody else in the bar is going to see them, they're going to be laughed out of the bar. It's going to be the most humiliating experience ever, which that doesn't really happen. Like, your mind will try to protect itself, because people's minds will protect you from potentially getting rejected. It's natural. But there are ways to mitigate that. You can have different mindsets going into it. You can learn the skills of attraction, like what is actually going to make her attracted to you, because attraction is not a choice. It just happens. Like you ignite attraction within somebody else.
I agree. But I think that comes with a certain level of acceptance of ourselves. I was speaking with someone yesterday who was talking about self-acceptance and things like that. Because even something like rejection, we all get rejected, for jobs we go for, people
Right.
that we like to date with. It's just how we internalize that, because I mean, especially as coaches, I'm a health and wellness coach, and you are a relationship coach, but I certainly am not for everybody. So I can't
Right.
internalize it and take it in personally if we're not a good fit, because I've met with several clients that just weren't in the place where they really were ready to use the tools I was ready to give them. So I knew that we weren't a good fit, as I'm sure that you've recognized also. Why is my thing? You're frozen. I'm frozen. What's going on? Come on. There you go. Hello. Jared, you're frozen. Okay, you there? Can you hear me? I can't hear you now. I don't know if we're still live on Facebook.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, there we go.
It says we're live. I think the Wi-Fi went down.
Okay.
People got all panicked. Uh-oh, what do I do with my relationship now? So I think it's my Wi-Fi here. It's just terrible. As soon as it went down, I looked there. So what would you say to someone who let's say doesn't have a lot of experience in the dating world? What are some places that they can meet people and just casually get to know them, or maybe some techniques they can practice in front of a mirror to work with those tonalities and feel confident and, you know?
So first thing I would tell them to do is simply for men is practice with their eye contact. Some people do find it hard to hold eye contact with another person as they're speaking. They'll look away and look down, and then as the other person's speaking with them, they'll also look away. Well, one of the main things that a guy can actually show a woman is his confidence, and women do find confidence extremely attractive. If he's not making eye contact, that doesn't make him look very confident at all, and he has more potential of getting rejected that way. So I would tell him to practice holding eye contact. I mean, he can do this as he's walking around. If someone does make eye contact with them, hold that eye contact, as long as possible. Don't stare, don't try to stare at people, but if someone is actually, looking at them, like if they are in somewhere that's social, hold eye contact with the person. They can also practice this with the mirror, or they can practice when they're, at work, even just talking to people. Try to hold that eye contact. Try to work on their vocal tonality. Note how your tonality is going. Is it going in an upward inflection, or is it going in a downward inflection? Because that right there also shows confidence, because a downward tonality does show that, hey, I am confident and I do believe in what I'm saying. Those are just
what about for those cultures? You said to have eye contact, but as a nurse, we have to be culturally competent. So there are a lot of cultures where direct eye contact is considered a sign of disrespect. They do look away. So what in that situation, if it was someone of that culture, what would they do if they can't maintain eye contact?
So if they could not maintain eye contact, I would ask them what would be socially acceptable in their culture. Like if they don't make eye contact, you'd be like, okay, well, where do you find the confident men looking when they are talking to people? Like if someone is a speaker, or someone is actually a, like a speaker, if he is talking to you, where would you expect him to look to show that, oh, I believe him, he is a confident person and he is talking to me and he knows what he's talking about? I would ask that, and then I would tell them, okay, we'll practice that then the next time you do approach a woman.
Okay, so there's, online is a big thing. People know I'm married, and I get so many comments inside my inbox today, you wouldn't even believe it. So it's just crazy, and then when I say I'm happily married, they said, so do you live together? I'm like, well, that's kind of goes with marriage.
Yeah, you would expect so.
You wouldn't even believe some of the questions people ask me. So what about the online dating world? Do you think it's safe necessarily? Because I know safety is a concern for people to meet someone like on a blind date they've never met maybe, and then get out there, and that's got to be scary for anybody, right?
Right. It would be. And I'm glad you brought that up too. So with online dating, yes, you want to remain safe when you're online dating. So before you actually meet that person, I would suggest you hop on a phone call, or even better yet, do a face-to-face, like a Zoom meeting, like we're doing right now. Do a Zoom call with a person, so you do get to actually see that person and get a better feel for that person. Along with the online dating too, people will try to have long conversations over the messaging system than online dating, or they'll exchange numbers and then start texting each other. Well, the problem with that is that a lot of communication is lost within a text message. And if you don't actually know that person that you're talking to, you don't know their sense of humor, you don't know their typical responses, you don't know how that person acts. So when the person does text you back a response, or even when you send a text message, a lot of that can be misconstrued in that in the text message itself. Like the guy could be joking and you think, well, that was extremely rude, but he didn't mean it rudely. It's just you read that text message in your own voice until you get to know the other person.
Yeah, perspective is definitely lost. But, even when you do know someone, you can say things sometimes and it be perceived totally different,
Very
based
true.
on what people are going through in their life or their day or that mood. So,
Right.
It's got to be difficult.
Right. It is very difficult. And I just want to pull back a little bit. I love the fact that you said you were talking about rejection. You said you have to accept yourself. A lot of men feel like they aren't. So for men, they see a beautiful woman and they place a lot of value on that beauty. And if they cannot accept themselves, they think, well, she would never like me because I'm not looking like, the fittest guy on the face of the planet. I'm not super strong. I don't make $1 million. I'm not 6 feet tall. There are a lot of things that hold guys back, but they have to understand that their personality holds so much more weight than their physical traits or the amount of money that they're making. Like they as they practice their attraction skills, they'll see that they can actually go up and talk to a person and display their personality traits and be able to find a good relationship that way. Like they don't have to. Now, I'm not saying to not work on yourself in the gym. I'm not saying to not try to build your finances as much as possible, but I am saying that you should not let that limit you and who you believe that you can talk to.
See, women, I don't know about, but there's a lot of women out there that think it's just as easy to fall in love with a rich guy than a broke guy.
Right, exactly. I mean, yeah, they seem like they have the
From the
handsome
woman's
heart.
point of view. So,
Right.
you don't want to come into this struggling either, but I agree with you. I think personality goes a long way. So, I mean, from a woman's point of view, I can say with certainty from me, from listening to you, I don't know about everyone because I'm different from everybody else. We're all different people. But I know that if someone approaches me and they look hesitant or fearful, and even the eye contact, if they look away, I feel like they're hiding something,
Right.
or they're not secure, or I might not pay attention because if you don't trust yourself, how trustworthy are you for me? So, if you're not confident in yourself, how much confidence are you going to bring to this relationship? And do you have the sticking power? Because we know relationships are work, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I like to say that relationships take a lot of effort, and you actually want to know that, hey, am I willing to put effort into this relationship? That's why another thing that I do tell guys to focus on is to focus on themselves when they are out there looking for a relationship. Now, some people might think, oh, well, isn't he supposed to focus on the person he's, looking for? Well, yes, he is. But the thing is that if I, for instance, go out and find exactly what I'm looking for, I'm willing to put a lot more effort into that relationship, building a stronger relationship from the start. You're not looking, you don't want to look to change someone, because people don't change for other people. You don't want to change yourself either in a relationship. I want to be able to be myself and have myself accepted by the other person who I am pursuing.
I like that you said that because I've known women and men, it goes both ways, that have been in relationships and they said, it didn't work out. They didn't change to the same person.
Right.
They've
right.
always been, they just didn't conform to your way of thinking. So
Yes.
you just, and most people are not going to, a leopard is a leopard, so so it is what it is, if it walks like a duck, it's a duck, right?
Right.
So I think that a lot of people don't really have enough confidence in themselves that they do let their true self show in the beginning. I think, or they hold back because people are afraid of being hurt and they're afraid of how well that's going to be accepted. So, and I'd be a little leery of someone who told me their whole life story too, with the, you know, on the first
Right. You don't
date.
want to
I
get
don't want to know your whole life story. Let's work up to that.
right. You
So
don't want to give
what
your
advice
entire,
would you give men on something like that?
oh, with telling their whole life story, how to interact initially.
Yeah,
Yeah. So essentially, it's hey, I coach men to have them, know what they're looking for, and then when you're talking to someone, you actually want to ask them questions that would, kind of align them to what you're looking for. You want to see like, hey, if you do like being on the water, like if you have to live by the ocean, if you have to spend, half your days on boats, if you love scuba diving, well, hey, ask her what her hobbies are. How does she feel about, living on boats? How does she feel about scuba diving? Maybe she does scuba dive. Find out things that you would want to know about her. That is how you go about the initial interaction in the first place. Like you want to go into any interaction with curiosity, because yes, you're talking to someone who you do find physically attractive. The thing is though, you actually don't know anything about that person. All you know that, hey, they do look good. Yes. Okay. Now what more about them? You have to go deeper, because you have to see whether or not this is someone you want to spend your time pursuing. Because the thing about your time, you can't get it back. So you want to date with intention. And if this is
that's
someone
it.
that, yes, if you want to, find the right fit for you, you have to date with intention, and you have to know what you want, and then ask those questions to see if she wants the same thing. Hey, I want 3 kids later down the road. You can ask that on, date number 2 or 3. Hey, how many kids are you thinking about having later on? Just ask her what she thinks about marriage. Ask her what her future intentions are. Where does she see herself in 5 years? Things of that nature. Look at what her future looks like for her.
And if you're a part of that, yeah, I like that. What are some don'ts like that men shouldn't do? Like, I mean, if you're on a date and they're talking about their ex-girlfriend and this and that, I mean, what are some things men shouldn't be doing on these
Well,
dates?
guys should definitely leave out any of their exes. You don't want to be bad mouthing any of your exes that you've had. You also do, yeah, of course, you want to hold eye contact. The vocal tonality is a big thing. For don'ts, trying to think about the don'ts. Also, offer to pay. Like, I know this seems kind of like old school, but I am kind of an old school guy. So yes, offer to pay. You would pay for the first date. That shows, being that just shows that you're a gentleman. Um, Trying to think about the don'ts. Like I would, I don't have too many don'ts. Like I'm more of, hey, they did this, and then okay, you don't want to do that. You want to correct. Like if they do see someone on the street, don't just go up and ask for a number. You have to actually talk to her for a little bit. When you're like before you try to get the number.
Okay, are you teaching these men to hold doors? Because there's a lot of men out there that don't hold doors no more. And I'm one of those old school girls that likes somebody to hold the door for me. So
Okay,
are you teaching these men
so
to have respect and manners?
so the thing about holding the door is that can be a double-edged sword, because I've definitely seen informed somebody will hold the door for a lady and then they get, yelled at. I can open my own door, but I do definitely tell them to hold doors anyway, because I hold doors for everybody. You should just hold door, be a gentleman, hold doors for anybody who needs to go through the door. It shouldn't be just a women thing or just a man thing at all.
I like that. Okay, so if you could tell any of your clients out there one piece of advice, what would that look like for you? What would you tell somebody, if somebody out there that's really looking for romance and hasn't had any luck, what would you suggest for them?
I would tell them that romance. I would tell them that attraction is actually a skill, and sadly, it's roughly a double-edged sword. To get better with your confidence and your attraction skills, you have to actually put yourself in front of people and then talk to them. Because as you talk to them, you will see exactly what you've done wrong, or you can hire a coach that can help you figure out what you did wrong in those interactions, and then he'd be able to correct those so that your chances of actually finding that person that you're looking for, increase greatly and dramatically. But the main thing is don't give up. Like, keep trying, because you're going to have to date many people to find that perfect fit for you.
Yeah. And I wouldn't worry so much about the rejection aspect. That's just comes with life. I know it's disheartening, especially if you're interested in someone, but rejection's part of life. So,
Right. And another thing you said about rejection too is that you've been rejected by certain clients or had to reject certain clients because they're not a good fit for you. Well, guys have to understand, like, hey, if you are getting rejected, that is just a sign that that person was not a fit for you. You want to find someone who has a high level of interest, for you from the start. That is going to make things easier because you do not want to chase anyone. You should not chase. So if a woman is not showing you any high level of interest, if you've asked her out on a date and just says, oh no, I'm busy, and you try to take her out again and again and again, and it's never happening, that shows you that she doesn't have that high level of interest for you. You want to find someone who will agree to go out on a date with you, who will agree to, take you to places, who will essentially go out and date you. The thing that they're looking for is a high level of interest. So you have to find that person.
Someone that's not afraid to introduce you to their friends and thinks that you're an important part. I get it.
Right.
I get it. So where can people find you? I know you're on Facebook. Where can they find you, Jaros?
Yes, I'm on Facebook. I'm also on TikTok. I'm on Facebook Reels, and I'm on Instagram Reels also. And then my website is jarosgilbertcoaching.com. And you can click on that. I actually have the links to all of my socials on there as well.
Okay. I also have the links that you've shared with me, so I'm going to be posting them under this when it goes live. I think that what you do is really great, and there's a lot of lonely people out there. Honestly,
There are
people looking for someone to share their life with, to have fun with, go out there, both men and women. It's not just men.
Right.
But if these men are shy, then these women are never going to meet them. So they got to step it up a little bit.
Right, exactly. They have to feel that they can go up and talk to somebody, and I want them to have the confidence to be able to do that, and to know exactly what they're doing when they go up there too, because it is hard. It's very hard.
But I think you're a good man for the job. All right, guys. So this is Jaros, and you know where to reach him. I'm going to be dropping his links. And if you're a shy guy or you just need that little confidence, I would suggest you reach out to Jaros. He's the guy for you. All right, guys. Thanks for turning in. As always, have a great Sunday.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
Shut the live, and then we're going to shut the recording. I got nervous.